Today's video is about three-dimensional figures. Now, before we get started, you need to get these things. A piece of paper, could be a piece of paper from your notebook, a pencil, and two markers. One could be a highlighter, two could be highlighters, whatever you want. So again, a piece of paper, a pencil, and two markers, a couple highlighters, a highlighter and a marker. It doesn't matter. You just need two of those types of things. So press pause, and then when you're ready, you can start the video again. Welcome back. Now let's start by talking about what a two-dimensional figure is. Here on the board, I have a square. This square is two-dimensional because we can measure the length and the width. That would be, we can measure two sides. Again, we can measure the length and the width. I want you to stop your video and I want you to make a list of, let's say, 3 or more two-dimensional shapes. Press play when you have finished making your list. Welcome back. I'm guessing that these are some of the shapes that you wrote on your list. These are all two-dimensional shapes where we can measure the length and the width. They're flat, and we can only measure the two sides to help us figure out information about them. But now let's talk about three-dimensional shapes. This is a cube. It is a three-dimensional shape. And on a three-dimensional shape, we can still measure the length, we can still measure the width, but we can also measure the height. And so we can measure three sides of a three-dimensional object. Now again, stop the video and on your paper make a list of figures that you think are three-dimensional. See if you can think of 3 or more. Now you're going to hand this list in to your teacher. So let me show you some three-dimensional figures that may be on your list. Okay, I'm guessing you all have a cube. You may also have a rectangular prism, and both of these shapes are rectangular prisms. Do you have a cylinder? Okay, these are both examples of cylinders. Excuse me. Here's another prism. It happens to be a triangular prism. Then we have, of course, the sphere that we often call the ball. Here is a pyramid shape. And, of course, the cone. These are all examples of solid figures. Now, let's go back to your cube. Now, you should have the cube that you made at the beginning of class. And I want you to get this now. If you need to stop the video to get it, do so. Come back, press play, and we'll get started. Alright, so you have your cube. Now, each of these flat surfaces is called the face. And on my cube, the shape of the face is a square. Now, how many faces does a cube have? Here's what I'd like you to do. I want you to take your marker or highlighter, whatever it is that you've chosen, and I want you to put a small X on each face as you count it. So there would be 1, I'll turn, 2, and I want you to keep doing this until you have put an X on all of the faces, and let's see if we match. So press pause, go ahead and count the faces, press play when you're done, and then we'll compare what we got. Alright, how many faces did you get? I got 8 faces when I counted them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I got 6. Did you get my mistake. There are only 6 faces on a cube. Don't forget that. You got it? Don't forget. Now let's talk about the edges. The edges on a three-dimensional shape are where 2 faces come together and meet. So this is considered the edge. And if I turn it here, these 2 faces come together right here and make another edge. Now, before counting, how many edges do you think there are? Well, we shouldn't trust our teacher because our teacher makes mistakes. So, would you get your marker, and here's what we're going to do. You're going to take your marker and just go back and forth a couple of times to show that you've counted it. So 1, then I would turn here. 2, it doesn't show up that much, but just enough so you can see that you've counted it. Okay, 3, 4, all right, and then I want you to keep going. Again, press pause and then start the video when you have finished counting, and let's see if we really get the right answer this time. All right, I finished, and I hope you're finished as well, and I'm confident this time that I got 12 edges. Did you get 12 edges? Great. Now let's talk about the vertex. Now the vertex is where edges all come together at a point. We often call it a corner, but it is actually called a vertex. So again, where all the edges come together to create the point or the corner, that is the vertex. Now, this time I want you to put away the first color that you were using, get out your second marker or highlighter, whatever it is you decided, and let's count the vertex. And so what you're going to do is just circle a little bit so you can see that it's colored. Now, I didn't put a lot. You don't need a lot, just enough to know that you counted it. So again, do that for every corner as you count. All right, so I'm now at 2 vertex. So I'll pause the video, you pause the video, press play when you're done, and let's see if we get the same number of vertex on our cube. All right, so I counted all my vertex. I noticed I had 4 on this side and 4 on this side, so I have a total of 8 vertex on this cube. All right, keep these words in mind, okay? Face, edge, and vertex. We're going to be using those words as we look at a variety of three-dimensional figures this week.